start this talk about actually talking about the past, because I think it's interesting in talking about fine arts and fine arts photography today in Hong Kong and Asia. We need to sort of talk about first where we've come from, the development of the scene, if you will. And Bobby, you've been here
since
longer,
95, so
yeah,
the
longer than everyone. What would you say? How was it when you came to Hong Kong? How developed was the art scene?
The art scene was developed, but in a completely different way. It wasn't contemporary or photography. It was mostly 20th century fine art or Chinese modern. And it was very, very limited in terms of galleries. There were just quite a few galleries back then. There was not much demand, and art education and appreciation wasn't around back then, or was, but again, much more limited than it is now.
So would you say that Hong Kong is the art hub of Asia?
Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yes and no.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I think Singapore did a lot in terms of the development of the arts. Beijing obviously has a very rich and varied culture in terms of supporting artists and art spaces and offering residencies, which Hong Kong doesn't do as much. So in that respect, it makes me think more. But then also we bring in so much money financially into Hong Kong, into the market. There was a huge global spotlight on us with the risen art buzz in the last couple of years. So yeah, I think we're kind of in an intermediate state.
Skene, in terms of, I mean, you're from the US, so you have a completely different background. Can you give any sort of idea of, I mean, in your opinion, obviously there's a big difference between the art scene in Hong Kong and in the US. What are the biggest differences that you see or that you miss here in Hong Kong?
I think the biggest difference is that here in Hong Kong, there's kind of this, there's this open-mindedness. There's still this establishment of finding your place, and because there's not as a deep-rooted culture of contemporary art as found in other places, and I think in that it's really exciting because it's not that the interest isn't there; it's that just like the outlet and that modes of expression art is developed as in other places. So I think there's a lot of talent here, and there's a lot of things happening.
And I think that's starting to change now, because now we have the Hong Kong Gallery Association, we have the South Island Cultural District, and so we've got these people that are dedicated to banding people together as a community and helping to get that information out. So I've seen that in the 7 years that I've been here as one of the major developments. Because like you say, it's there, but you really have to dig, and you have to know the people who know what's going on in order to not miss out on these exciting events.
I mean, I think these days there are a lot more workshops, co-working spaces, also in the creative areas. You have art jamming and all those smaller sort of spaces as well, which I guess helps to just make people more aware of their creative sides. You attended Skene here in Hong Kong, which is, for people who don't know, it's Savannah College of
Art and Design.
Art and Design.
Yeah. Which was an interesting experience because I started in the campus in the United States, and then I transferred here, and just kind of seeing the difference between the art students there in the United States and the art students here who are coming into it. And a lot of people are kind of facing that challenge of with their family, proving to not only themselves but to their family that they can pursue this career and pursue this as a viable lifestyle. And it was exciting because it's there's so much young talent here, and to see these people really giving it their all, and going out there and getting involved and kind of being part of that facilitation was really an honor.
With myself and my company, we have a mix. We have international clients looking to buy Asian art, and then Asian clients looking to buy both Asian and international. So in terms of Asian clients, the demand has become much more higher. It used to be Chinese collectors or Hong Kong collectors focusing in Chinese art and being very nationalist. That has shifted. Now the Hong Kong collectors or Chinese collectors are buying more and more Western artists,
What do we need in order to sort of move onwards to take Hong Kong to the next step? What are we lacking today, in your opinion, in terms of education or spaces, or what would be a good concept to take Hong Kong to the next level?
Be above there.
Oh yeah, we need everything.
We need everything.
Everything.
We need funding, we need spaces, we need residencies, we need people to stop talking about what we don't have and just get off their ass and do things. I mean, even if it's just you organising your own independent events or doing a community get-together, all of those little things come together as building blocks and start to make something substantial. You see others doing it and then you go, well, there's value in that, I'll do that too. So.
But at least we have the software. We have the artists, we have good galleries, we have schools, good school teaching art, and art appreciation.
In terms of Asia, what's your next country? So we've now been focusing on China for quite a long time now, at least in Hong Kong. What's the next region to be sort of coming on the radar for collectors?
Well, I just recently saw an exhibition put together by a very young director, Mike Bowles, contemporary of Filipino art, and I have to say I was really impressed and quite excited by that. So that's where my attention is shifting there. Whether or not I'm not speaking as someone you should really pay attention to it, but personally I've been seeing some really nice things coming out of that region.
I would agree. Filipino art, Indonesia.
Yeah.
Indonesia, of course. And then when you say Asia, are we talking about East Asia or are we covering
All of it.
all of it? West Asia, so Turkey, Iran, Middle East. There's lots of good artists showing, having demand, exhibiting everywhere. So
That's obviously something we're not seeing a lot of that here in Hong Kong. So that's maybe the next sort of step. Is that people will start bringing in more of those artists.
We should notice in a group show a couple of years ago actually from Baku, who does these hand-woven, reinterpreted carpets that are incredible. And when we were kind of scouting around that region, we found some really interesting.
Central Asia, yeah. This last Venice Biennale, one of the best exhibits was Central Asia. And it covered everything from Azerbaijan, Armenia, to Kazakhstan, the whole Central Asian region.
That we can continue to see the Hong Kong art scene growing in the next few years. Surely people like we do as Salva Asia, we're trying to help the up-and-coming artists to show their works, feature them on the events calendar on the site, which we do for free. Writing about different exhibitions and obviously working together with different art exhibitions and galleries to promote art in Hong Kong and in Asia. So thank you all for coming. Thank you for the panelists. I hope you had a good night and we can all move out into the bar area and continue the conversation.